Gavin DeGraw been? Obviously, you've been working on this album. Obviously, you've been touring as well with Maroon 5 and Train. We'll talk about all that in a second. But something else that I would imagine is a little bit time-consuming to you. You have your own spot in New York, like your own like bar and restaurant, right?
I do.
Yeah, so you got to run that as well, in addition to doing all this music stuff.
Well, I don't spend that much time there running it. I like
more of an investor.
I'm more of an investor, yeah.
Okay.
And I go there and hang out and just bring friends down and watch music. It's like kind of a music venue. So
right.
yeah. So when New York City, when we felt that it was losing a lot of the vibey art thing that we loved about it. The reasons that I moved to New York City, when we felt like that was kind of disappearing, my brother and I opened up a bar there that we could feature music and try to kind of preserve what was going on when we got there.
Your brother handles more like the day-to-day operations of it then?
Yeah, my brother's definitely more on the business end of
right.
So
he probably so if you get on these interviews and say like you're the owner and you run it, he probably gets annoyed. He's like, "Yo, Gavin, like I'm doing all the work here, man. Like, what
exactly.
Why are you trying to take all the glory?"
Yeah. He yeah. I don't go in there for that, man. I go in there to hang out and watch bands and bring friends down.
Now, obviously, like I mentioned, you're on tour with Maroon 5 and Train
right,
as well right now. You're doing some dates with them, and I feel like especially that backstage scene. If you're into yoga or wine drinking, that's your spot between Maroon 5 and Train, because Maroon 5, I know they love the yoga, and Train, they have their own wine now that I'm sure they've made you try or you've wanted to try.
I actually have not tried the wine.
What?
Unless what I was drinking last night was their wine. It was pretty good.
Okay.
I have no idea, but it didn't say like.
You just went in and asked for a cup. Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? There was some wine backstage in Train's dressing room. And nobody was looking. So I was like,
right.
Creeping,
Right. Exactly like that, I'm sure.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
security wasn't,
Yeah.
they weren't questioning you.
No.
Gavin DeGraw.
I was like, yeah, I'm just make sure these glasses are clean. They're very clean. I'm just going to go make sure. So, no, I was walking by the dressing room, and I was like, hey, what's up? They're like, yeah, man, what's up, man? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, nothing, So I don't know if I've had their wine. They invited me in to hang out, and have a glass of wine with them. So I did.
Right, okay.
But I don't know what their brand is called. Do you know?
Their name is on it. They did like this wine club, and now they have this wine. They're selling it. All the proceeds are going to charity, actually. So maybe they got a couple extra bottles too for the road. I believe, or at least a portion of.
Huh.
Yeah. So
is it
I know it's
my charity?
I don't think so. Yeah, I didn't even know. You have a charity?
Yes.
What's your charity?
It's called Put Fuel in My Bus. /
There's a big fundraiser going on for that September 20th, right? When the new album comes out.
September 20th.
That's a big fundraiser.
Yeah, put fuelinmybus.com /
Let's talk about that album a little bit. We got Gavin DeGraw here on the Ralphie Radio Show. You are too much, man. So the album Sweeter, again, comes out September 20th. The first single, Not Over You. That song,
yes.
I know the title track. And how many more did you write with Ryan Tedder from One Republic? Or was that it, just the two?
I just wrote 2 songs with Ryan Tedder, and I wrote 2 songs with a guy named Andrew Frampton, who does work with the script. Both really great guys.
Are those songs about drinking and heartbreak?
Sometimes.
Most of the time with the script they are,
Sometimes, you know what I mean? It's like it's a funny thing, You're always writing this line between what you are and what you want to be, right?
Of course.
So it's important when you're writing songs to include not just what you hope to become, but the reality of who you are,
right,
as well. You know what I mean? Just to be realistic, you have to include some of that. Part of what's been going on with my career and my writing procedure, I can't just sit around and write songs all day long. I can't do that. When someone says, oh, well, maybe you're not on tour for a year or so, you're at, or you're in New York hanging out, like watching bands and things like that. That's so important to me as a writer, because that's my real life. And so, which
you could base the songs that you're going to write off of.
Exactly, man. So otherwise I'll just be sitting here on the bus singing songs about traveling all the time. Right. You know what I mean?
And it's especially Ryan actually has told me on the show before too that when he's on the road, he has to write 3 songs before he gets one good one.
Yeah. There's a different reality on the road than the world's reality, and like your emotional reality is different, your setting is different, your private life is different, because it takes a minute to sort of to tap into just feeling normal.
Is that right?
When you come off the road, you kind of have to come off the road and just be normal. and then go, whoa, something very, effed up happened to me today, and other people are like, what do you think we all go through, man? Like, that's our life. That's our day-to-day.
Right.
And it's funny talking with musicians about their schedule, and then you talk to someone who has a real job, and you're like, that's your schedule? I wish I had that schedule. Do you know what I mean? Because, it's a little bit like Fantasyland.